How's it going? The King from Mayor here. Now, I just had an idea, or eureka moment, if you will, about our problems that we have facing the nation today and how we may be able to solve them. Now, I know this isn't going to be very libertarian of me. I'll probably get a lot of flack for that. But it's a law that's already on the books, and all we need to do is to use it properly, and it might solve a lot of the problems we have here in the United States. Um, the law that's on the books is eminent domain, and now I know it sounds horrible for the government to take anything from anybody. I know, but they do it. They do it every day. So we really can't complain about it too much. Let's maybe focus on how we can use this to better our society and solve the problems that we're facing, both with the rising cost of healthcare and the lack of jobs and manufacturing and other production here in the United States. Um, so I was thinking about how that there's all these medical patents out there, these genetic patents, medicine patents, and if we have, for example, the breast cancer gene is patented by a company. I'm sorry, I don't know the company's name off the top of my head here. This is just a thought that just came to me. But I do know that the gene for breast cancer is, in fact, owned by somebody, is patented. And when you go to get a biopsy for breast cancer screening, not the mammogram to look for lumps and stuff, but the actual, like, when they go in and take a tissue sample, and then they have to test to see if that sample is benign or malignant breast cancer, um, or what we refer to as breast cancer, because there are other cancers of the breast, but the big breast cancer killer out there, that they have to pay for the rights to compare the tissue sample that they have taken to the actual breast cancer gene. And this costs hundreds of dollars. Whether you have breast cancer or not, to do the biopsy costs hundreds of dollars. It maybe costs like $100 to go through the procedure, but then you're paying like another $300-400 just for the rights to look at the gene and do a comparison. Now, I understand that this company that isolated the gene for breast cancer spent a lot of money. They had to pay researchers, laboratories, paper beakers, all testing equipment, like all sorts of stuff. There was a lot of costs that went into actually discovering this gene, and they deserve to get their money back from discovering this gene. Now, making money off of sick people, we can argue those ethics till the cows come home. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is using eminent domain for the federal government to buy that gene, okay, give the company just compensation, make sure that the company is compensated for that gene which would lead to the betterment of all of America, if we had access to it. So, using eminent domain, we can buy that gene, and then we can make it available to any American medical company out there. Every hospital, clinic, other companies that want to develop medicines to fight the cancer. I mean, anybody who needs it can use it as long as you're an American. You're an American business. And if we do that, that will greatly reduce the cost of health care for, breast cancer um, patients, and then we could start doing it with other things. We can start doing the other cancers, and then we can start, buying the patents for medicine, so that anybody who wants to produce the medicine here in the United States can produce the medicine. Um, and if we do this, it will greatly reduce the cost of healthcare, or I should say the the cost of not doing healthcare. Really, when you think about it, because when you're paying for that patent, you're just paying for something that was already done. You're not creating anything new. Um, so if we can settle up that score there and even those things out, it will reduce the cost of healthcare for us as Americans, and of course anybody overseas that comes to America to come and get health care. Um, then they'll, it'll be cheaper for them too, which will raise the demand for health care in the United States. Because we do have some people that come overseas to America to get treated for health care, but not really that many. If we made it more economically uh, feasible for people to be able to say, okay, it's worth the trip to go to America to get my healthcare work done, because I'm going to save all this money on the actual healthcare, so it's worth the plane ticket, renting the house or whatever to stay here in America and get your treatment done. We're kind of seeing a similar thing going on right now, where Americans are going up to Canada to purchase their medicine, because it's cheaper. You can get the same medicine up in Canada for like a third of the cost, because they have more generic brands available and stuff. And, the patents work different because they have socialized medicine up there. And I'm not saying socializing the medicine, the treatment should still be privately run. But what we should do is socialize the information. We should make the information available to all the different hospitals out there, and so they can get it without having to fire 60 nurses to be able to afford to get this information technology that they need. And so when we do that, then of course the hospitals and things will have more money to spend on employees, creating jobs. Plus, there'll be a higher demand. People will actually go to a doctor to get treated when they can afford it. I guarantee it. If I could afford to go to the doctor, I'd be going to the doctor right now. But I can't. So how many other Americans out there are like me that would love to go see a doctor but just can't afford it? So by doing this eminent domain, then through the medical industry and acquiring these medical technologies and making them open source for American medical companies, then basically we'll solve all of our healthcare problems that we're dealing with right now, or a good chunk anyway, not all of it, but we'll solve a good chunk of the rising cost of healthcare. We'll create jobs. We'll create new wealth here in America, which is really the big three main problems we're dealing with right now in America, is this kind of stagnation that has happened because we can't get anything done. The laws that we have are working against us instead of for us. Well, let's see if we can take those same laws and get them to work for us, which I think was the idea when they first came up with these laws, hundreds of years ago. So yeah, and then once we do medical, and I think that would be a great test platform, for this idea, this concept, and then of course we can go ahead and start thinking about doing it with other technology fields, such as computers or automotive or whatever. Imagine if suddenly a computer company had access to all of the patents out there, um, that from all the different computer manufacturers. Think of the computer that they could build if they could use all the information to design the best product possible. Or if someone wanted to build a car and had you know uh, all the patent information available and could use it for all the best parts and components of a car and could build the perfect car. Um, I'm just saying it's in an eminent domain. It's on the books. We provide fair compensation. Make sure that we're not taking, we're not stealing property. We're giving it just compensation. But we're saying, okay, this is in the best interest of the nation that we have um, this information available for everyone, and it's worth it to say, okay, we're going to pay you for that information so that everybody can have it. It might be a much better investment than anything else we're doing right now. That's my idea. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Please leave a comment here on the YouTube video if you can. Thank you.